Hey everyone, News 5's Katerina Lukatich here. We are at a towing company off of DIP, happening right now all across the city. Mobile police officers are executing search warrants at 16 different towing companies across the city, going in, getting some records. What they're looking for, they have reason to believe that some of these companies have been conducting an insurance fraud. So what they're doing now is going in, at the same time, we're at this one off of DIP, Southport Towing and Recovery, but there are 15 other ones that officers are at all across the city here. Doing it at the same time to not give anyone the heads up so that no documents are shredded or anything like that. So, they do have reason to believe that some of these companies have been conducting insurance fraud. So that is what they're looking for here.
What about the guys in the polos?
That's fine. Gotcha, yeah. Again, for those of you who are just now joining us on Facebook, Mobile Police conducting 16 search warrants at towing companies across the city. They have reason to believe that some of these companies may be committing insurance fraud. So they're going in, looking for documents, executing these search warrants, and that is what they're doing here. So once this search warrant is wrapped up here, we're going to hear from Mobile Police Chief Lawrence Batiste about a little bit more about the operation they're doing and what they're looking for. Again, for those of you just joining us, News 5's Katerina Lukatich here. We're at Southport Towing and Recovery on Dauphin Island Parkway in Mobile, and this is just one of 16 towing companies that officers are at right now throughout the city, conducting search warrants on, going in, getting documents. Officers have reason to believe that some of these companies have been committing insurance fraud, so they're going in, seizing things inside, and these companies here, they'll be shut down for 30 days while Mobile Police conduct their investigation. Again, I'm trying to be mindful of what we show here, so if I turn the camera, it's because they do have some undercover officers here that we don't want to show their faces. So this has been an ongoing investigation for Mobile Police, and like I said, the companies that they're at today getting these documents from, they'll be shut down for the next 30 days, can't operate while their investigation is completed. But officers do have reason to believe that some of these companies are committing insurance fraud. In a few minutes, we'll hear from Mobile Police Chief Lawrence Batiste a little bit more about their operation, what they're doing, and how they really got to this point. And so we're at Southport 2 Towing and Recovery on Dauphin Island Parkway. It's not too far off of Government, and if you're just joining us, this is one of 16 towing companies. Oh, okay. You want to do over here? Hey, Matt, he's going to do an update. For those of you on Facebook with us, we're getting ready. We're going to get an update from Police Chief Lawrence Batiste here. Give me a sec while I get our microphone ready. Y'all both good?
Yes.
You good, Matt?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so today, Mobile Police Department are executing a total of 16 search warrants on record companies here in the city of Mobile. The record companies that we're executing the search warrants on is A+ Auto, Cashiers, Heroes, SOS Towing, and Southport Towing. Each one of these locations that I just identified have multiple locations. So we're executing a search warrant for every one of their locations. Our intent is to serve the business owner of these record services with notice of suspension of their licenses to tow in the city of Mobile as we continue our investigation. Our investigation thus far has led us to identify the record companies that I've identified as companies that have excessively charged the insurance industry as well as the private citizen here in the community. So our goal is to, our search warrants today, they're document search warrants, try to find additional documentation that further supports our assertion that they have overcharged or committed some type of fraud in insurance claims. So the goal for us today is to hold the record companies accountable for what they should be following under the City of Mobile ordinance. Our ordinance has a set fee that a record company can charge, and there are some incidentals that are associated with that. But we have found through some of our preliminary investigation that some of these record companies are charging in excess of 25% up to 100% more than what the city allows. And that is unfortunate for our citizens in this community, because that leads to, in many cases, insurance premiums going up and things of that nature. And so our goal is to hold them accountable and stop these record companies from price gouging and making the cost be passed along to the citizen of Mobile. Now, if the question is asked, why are we only suspending for 30 days, we want to get all the additional information that we can, and we believe that at the conclusion of the 30-day cycle, we will most likely suspend these companies from the City of Mobile's toll rotation completely. Again, we're trying to do due diligence by doing the document search warrant, looking at other receipts that would indicate who they overcharged, not following the city ordinance, and at the end of the day, hold them accountable. We don't want them overpricing the citizens of this city. So again, a total of 16 search warrants that we'll be executing throughout the city today. They're all document search warrants, and after we get the documentation, we'll take the documents back to our headquarters, and we'll sift through the documentation, and through cooperation with the district attorney's office, there may be criminal charges that may come about as a result of our investigation.
So were these stemming from complaints from citizens or from insurance companies?
These were actually stemming from complaints from citizens as well as insurance company. And so our goal is to make sure we hold those individuals accountable. Once we got those complaints, we start looking at them.
How many would you say that you received?
Well, to be honest, that was really a small amount that we received early on. And of course, this came about as we started looking at amending the ordinance. And of course, the record companies had some complaints about how much they could charge. And so in many ways, they helped open this can of worms by wanting to add more or to get more through the ordinance. But as we looked at what they were already doing, they were already excessively charging the citizens of this community or the insurance company more than what the tolls should have cost.
Let's talk about that ordinance and the price you can for us.
So our current ordinance allows, if the City of Mobile calls for a toll, $125. Of course, they can make some incidental claims that usually average toll for the City of Mobile can be anywhere from $125 up to approximately, I guess, $175 to $200. If it's a larger vehicle, that baseline number is even higher, because if you're towing a truck or something like that, the price goes up. But for the average car that's on the road today, $125 is a baseline. Now, we agreed as we sat down and we talked with the record companies about the ordinance to amend and make sure that the pricing was consistent with what the across the state and the national average would be. But as we looked at what had been charged by some previous tolls, what we found was that there was an excessive amount of additional fees added to the tolls. Things like charging somebody to come and open up the gate to recover their car. The fact that they would add additional fees for soil cleanup if they had an oil spill or something like that that exceeded what we actually said they could charge in the ordinance. And again, our goal is, as we looked at that documentation and we saw that there was not one or two incidents, but there were multiple incidents that happening, we decided that we'd look a little bit further into it, and as a result of that, we find ourselves here today executing the search warrants.
We received some complaints that when people would show up to pay, that they weren't even here.
Well, again, those are things that were ways that potentially they could add additional costs to the tow bill. Once you tow a vehicle, you take it to a storage facility, and of course, for every day that stays there, there's an additional cost that goes with that. And again, those are little things that should not be happening. So those were some of the things that we were trying to work out as we started talking about the ordinance and making sure that we had things in place. Our goal was, again, there are some incidences where the tow companies were charging storage fee for the first 24 hours. Well, the ordinance doesn't allow a storage fee for the first 24 hours. And so when you start looking at those type of things, those costs are eventually passed back to the citizens of the City of Mobile. Your insurance premium is going to go up. And so it costs you more in the long run. They're making a profit, but you as a citizen are paying more out of your pocket because your premium just went up because of the tolls at the tow fees.
It's already an inconvenient situation for some people. Some people just can't avoid, you know, something happening to their car and they have to get it towed. So it's kind of, like you said, taking advantage of people.
Right, and that, you know, that's our position. We don't want, you know, our job is to protect and serve the community. This is just another way of protecting the service. Nobody has been physically injured, but financially they have been injured. And so our goal is to make sure that from a financial standpoint that we don't allow businesses to take money out of our citizens' pocket for, you know, by fraudulent means.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
All right,
you.
You're welcome. Both of those guys, you can feel that's the assistant or assistant chief. So
Okay. Thanks. All right, everyone. I'm about to get on Facebook Live here, but for what you didn't really, if you didn't hear Police Chief Lawrence Baptiste's press conference here, they have several towing companies that have multiple locations across the city, so they are executing search warrants. They have reason to believe that they have committed insurance fraud. They're getting documents. They're shutting down now for 30 days. If at the end of that 30-day period they realize that they were operating illegally and doing illegal things, they can shut them down for good. Of course, we'll have the latest throughout the day, but for now, reporting live in Mobile, I'm Katarina Lukatich.